Nintendo of America invited me to play a preview of Star Fox on the Nintendo Switch 2. I got to try out the training, missions, try alternative paths, get my hands on the mouse mode in co-op, test out the famous avatar camera features, and even try out the battle multiplayer mode, which is my favorite part of the whole experience. But before I get into this, I just want to mention that this is my first time playing a Star Fox game, so I'm giving you my experience based on doing a little research and my hands-on at this preview. So please be easy on me if you're a seasoned Star Fox fan. The first part of my experience was doing the training mode, and for this, we had a character called Yarrow Depon, who was basically your tutorial character, popping up with dialogue telling you what to do. While I was playing, I did see a customized control menu pop up during my gameplay for inverting the Y-axis or customizing controls, but for this video, I'll just be showing you all the default controls. So A is basically going to be firing your laser, holding A down and then pressing A to fire is going to be your charge shot laser, which is good for taking out groups of enemies. If you press Y, you launch a bomb, and then you press Y again, which will then detonate it, which takes out a bunch of enemies in groups, and it does a lot of damage. Now, if you look at the top left of the screen, you can see that the bomb icons are right over here, and the amount you have is indicated right there by that symbol. If you press X, that's going to boost you, and if you hold B down, that's going to allow you to brake, which is good for slowing down when enemies are on your tail so they can get right past you so you can take them out. Now, specifically when it comes to boost and brake, you want to pay attention to the top left of your screen, specifically to that blue bar. After you boost or brake, you can't use it again until that meter fills up. There's something in the game also known as tilting, so if you press L, ZL, R, or ZR, you're going to tilt your R wing specifically in that direction. If you double tap L, ZL, or R, ZR, you're then going to do a barrel roll, and you can see in this clip that it deflects enemy fire exactly when you use it, so timing is very key for this. Now, the D-pad up is going to allow you to do a somersault, which is another cool way of getting behind your enemies. Now, during the training, there was also something known as all-range mode, and all-range mode, for anyone new who's playing Star Fox, is basically the free roam part of the game. A control that shows up for this is going to be the D-pad down button, which is going to be the U-turn. Now, during all-range mode, you're going to see on the bottom right that a mini-map does show up, so you can see where your allies are and where all these enemies are. It's a lot of chaos in this specific tutorial scene. As you can see, it's filled with a bunch of red dots. Now, also, there are things that could happen to your R-wings when you're playing. You can lose a wing, so they have items that you can pick up to restore your wing. So different stuff happens within the game. Now that we're out of training, let's talk about the first mission. But before that part, if you do enjoy videos like these, I do attend a lot of previews. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because hey, there's a lot more Nintendo games coming out, and I think Nintendo likes me enough to invite me, so I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I hope I can share that all with you guys. So yeah, that helps a lot with the channel. Now, before the first mission took place, there was a cutscene that played out that introduced General Pepper.
You've got yourself a deal. It's a pleasure doing business with you, General. Prep the R-Wings. We've got a job to do, Star Fox.
After that, Team Star Fox flew out the main ship, and the title screen showed up, and we entered Corneria.
G-diffuser systems check. Sound off, team.
Slippy here. So far, so good.
This is Peppy. All systems go.
Falco here. G-diffuser seems fine. Let's go already.
Enemy targets up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Now, when you see Corneria for the first time in person, this stage is absolutely beautiful. I really knew, and you could see that you are experiencing the next gen visually. Like, it looks so good. The beautiful water, the textured stone structures, the rendered terrain in the background. Chef's kiss. Seriously, it looks so good. Now, even seeing the transition going into the battle zone within the city was amazing. It's like this beautiful, peaceful area, and then it goes right into where the battle is taking place. So the transition also feels awesome. Now, I learned that during this mission, you can actually lose Falco during a specific segment if you don't catch up to him and take out the enemies that are on his tail. Believe it or not, I actually lost him while playing the segment, but later on in a co-op mouse mode, we actually saved him, and it shows at the end of the screen what happened with Falco specifically. Now, as I got close to the end of the stage, I encountered mech robots and fought a giant mech boss that was piloted by a Granga pilot. The fun part about this boss fight was that it took place in the all-range mode, aka the free roam, so you could continue to circle back and keep damaging the enemies, pull away, dodge, turn around. It felt really nice. Also, a fun little detail, if you pay attention to the dialogue boxes under the character talking, you can see the health bar of the enemy and yourself and your allies. It's not something I actually noticed till I actually watched back the footage. It's pretty cool detail because there's no boss meters, so you have to look over there to see how much is left on the enemy, so it's pretty cool. Now, after defeating the boss, we cleared mission 1 and got the message that Falco's R-Wing is in the repair bay since I messed up, and if you didn't mess up, you probably wouldn't get that dialogue. You then get a very cool mission report screen showing all the stats and the points you received from the mission and showing off how well you did. Now, in the StarFox games, there are actually a ton of alternate paths that lead to different levels and ways the game is played out.
I've got eyes on a high-value target. Follow me.
You'd better be right about this, Falco.
I actually played this alternative path out in co-op mode where I had the Joy-Con for aiming and shooting while the other Joy-Con for flight was handled by Nick from Nintendo. That's Nick over there. Now, mouse mode makes it extremely easy to target enemies, and it feels a lot more accurate. It almost feels like an aimbot because it's so much easier than just using your joysticks. If you do have someone that you can play with, I highly suggest that you play this with somebody. I have my wife, so I think I'm going to be experiencing the entire campaign with her while we do the flying and shooting, and we'll probably switch off depending on who's better at what. Now, there's also a non-co-op mouse mode where you get a cockpit view from the R-Wing. I didn't get to personally experience this mode in person, but Nintendo did provide me with the B-roll demonstrating this, as well as their Twitter account showing off some of this as well. You can see what a barrel roll looks like and somersaults, and this kind of gameplay really makes me wish that there is some kind of VR for the Nintendo Switch 2. I think this would look so fun just being in the moment in a headset playing this. Nintendo, if you could ever release VR, please. For Star Fox, it would be perfect. So by doing the alternative path, the next mission you do is actually called Sector Y, but I didn't get to try out that stage or see it personally while I was gaming. However, if you do the original path, your next mission will take place on a stage called Meteo, which is what we have gameplay for.
Keep it tight. We're entering the asteroid field.
I feel like the stage name speaks for itself. It's basically just a ton of asteroids. You're pretty much in an asteroid belt, meteors, however you want to call it, floating around. Now, for this level, you have to do a lot of boosting in the early part or braking as these meteors and asteroids are just colliding into each other. It feels like I don't want to damage my R-Wing here. Really fun stage. Now, other things that you can find in the stage are unnatural meteors that enemies burrowed into, shooting you. There were also enemies that had a technology called persistent laser tech. That's what Slippy said in the dialogue, and it's these lasers that just trace around in circles, and you don't want to get hit by them. These lasers stay around for longer than they should. In fact, there was a lot of laser activity going on the stage where I had to just go through these crisscross lasers and other various types of lasers. Now, once I finally got to the end of the stage, I did face off against a boss, the Meteor Crusher pilot. Now, this boss had a cool mechanic where it had a rotating cog, so all you had to do is dodge, guess what? It's lasers while aiming at its vulnerable spots, which was a ton of fun. It even did a fake out and entered into a phase 2 where it then shot these giant circular lasers at me where I had to dodge it, and eventually after a bunch of explosions and defeating this boss, you got a mission to complete. So I got to experience 2 missions in the game. Now, this is a big one that everyone wants to know. What is going on with the whole entire avatar thing in Star Fox? Well, let me tell you, because I'm actually really happy Nintendo let me test this one out. Now, under avatar settings, you can select the character that you are. Depending on who you choose, that is the avatar that will appear. But not only were you able to pick characters, but there were a bunch of AR accessories that you could equip on your actual person. I got to see things like fox ears, wolf ears, Peppy's ears, Slippy's hat, so I had to take off my hat to do the Slippy hat because it looked weird because I was wearing a hat, as well as my favorite one on here is the Star Fox eyepieces, like my little scouter. I thought that looked cool on me, and it made me feel like I was part of the crew or the group of players I was playing with because I was the only person who said, let me pick the AR character during my playthrough. Also, if you look, there are a ton of locked items, and I think they may be locked behind the challenge modes of the game, maybe completing the main story, or maybe doing some things in the online mode, which we're going to talk about next. The cool part is that you can also use these avatars during your game chat with other people that are playing different games, so it's a really cool feature. I think more Nintendo games should incorporate that AR feature. Nintendo, please do more of that. I think it's a lot of fun, especially with the whole camera gimmick. But now let's talk about my favorite game mode, which is known as Battle Mode. This is basically going to be a 4v4 matchup of Star Fox versus Star Wolf. both are different teams. Now, there were 4 people in my preview session, so we did a 2v2, but you're going to see spliced in footage that Nintendo also sent me of a 4v4. Now, this mode is a lot of fun because of how competitive it is and how it's actually going to need coordination amongst your teammates in order for you to win. Let me explain. So basically, the goal of both teams is to shoot down the space pirates. That way they can pick up the cargo that the space pirates are carrying. Once you get the cargo, all you have to do is simply just take it back to your base and you get points. Now, while this sounds really easy, you're going to have to avoid getting shot down by the other team. That's the part you have to worry about. And the crazy part is you have to time when you're taking down the enemies. You could take them down while they're holding the cargo, and then they're going to respawn in after a certain amount of time. You could take them down before they even touch the cargo, but just be aware of when the respawn timer is. Essentially, you just have to play mind games and coordinate when that happens. And then when you secure it, maybe you have to coordinate with your team to take out the enemies that are chasing you down. There's also random power-ups that you can find during the match to assist you, so there is a lot going on. It's a little chaotic when you start playing it, but essentially you'll figure it out. You also have this bar on the bottom of the screen that you can see over here, which basically tells you where the cargo is in respect to which base. When the enemy picks it up, when you pick it up, it's all indicated there, so you pretty much just have to follow that. There's going to be a lot of dog fighting in the R-Wings here, so this is probably the most intense fighting you're going to do in Star Fox is going to be in this mode. I can definitely see people forming teams within the community and playing each other. Like I said, this one was a lot of fun.
Victory!
Overall, I had a blast playing the game. It's my first Star Fox game, so I'm really happy to play it. Got to test out a bunch of modes, and I just love that it just looks next gen. And I think it's going to be great for a lot of people who didn't play the older Star Fox games. They'll finally know where Fox McCloud comes from. It's not Super Mario Galaxy, and it's not Super Smash Bros., but it's from Star Fox, his game. So it's very exciting, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talked about. Did you like it? What do you think about it? I don't know. I'm always curious to see your comments, and I'm sure Nintendo will also read your comments along with me reading the comments. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.